I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big.
The director laughed again, but soon calmed down and said with irony in his voice, "Department chief, just look at yourself, worst detective in the country." "Department chief, if I didn't know you so well, I would even fall for it." He paused a little and then said with a smile, "Department chief, but you know, I'll probably make concessions to you and let you investigate this." "Department chief, anyway, the investigation is at an impasse and will hardly progress until the FBI arrives." "Department chief, but since you are taking on a serious matter, be prepared that I will fire you for the slightest violation or lack of results." "Department chief, you can take this as your last business. I will finally get rid of you despite this damn promise." Eva replied calmly, "Eva, okay, I agree." "Wait," she agreed. The director had the same surprised expression as me. Eva just grinned and answered him, "Eva, I'm still working in this filthy hole just because of the investigation into my sister's disappearance. If that gives me a chance to find out what really happened, Eva, then don't give a damn. You can fire me as soon as I'm done with this investigation." The director looked at Eva with great surprise for some time, but after a while he again laughed viciously and said, "Department chief, ha ha. Great, just great." "Department chief, here's the file folder. I'll even tell everyone else to help you with your investigation." He took and literally threw the folder into her hands. "Department chief, ha ha ha, I just want to see this kid's face at the end when you come back to me empty-handed." Eva smiled, turned around and went to the exit with the words, "Eva, we will see who will laugh at the end." Still not realizing what happened, I just followed her and closed the door behind us. Coming out of it, a strange picture awaited me. All the police officers crowded around the entrance to the director's office. Seeing that we were leaving, they suddenly began to pretend that they were going somewhere, along the way discussing something with enthusiasm. Perhaps the next bets. Without putting on our outerwear, we went outside. Eva gave me the folder and immediately, with trembling hands, began to rummage. Throughout the conversation with the boss, she showed no signs of agitation, but now she was shaking a little and breathing heavily. She took out a cigarette and immediately lit it on fire. Kiba Snowpaw, inspect. Eva, are you okay? She took a deep breath and replied. Eva, I'm fine, I just need to catch my breath. I silently watched as she smoked a few cigarettes, after which she finally stopped looking worried. She turned to me and took the folder with the materials and slowly began to read into it. Throughout the reading, her face did not change in expression, only her eyes were constantly moving through the text. But I could not be silent for so long and still asked. Kiba Snowpaw, regarding the investigation of the deputy mayor's disappearance. Kiba Snowpaw, are we really going to start investigating this ourselves? Eva just nodded, continuing to read the text. Having finished reading the last sheet, she looked up, took out a notebook and gave me the folder. She started jotting down something in a notebook and said, Eva, we'll start by interrogating the 2 guards who were with him at the bar yesterday and a couple of officials at the city hall. Eva, of all the witnesses questioned, their testimony seems to me the strangest. Eva, then we'll decide what to do next. Eva, I'll go get our coats and ask them to warn the witnesses about our imminent visit. You can read the case file for now. Without letting me insert a word, she walked into the station with quick steps. Kiba Snowpaw, * heavy sigh *. What have I got myself into? I read all the materials and everything. After the bar, the deputy mayor went with the guards to his mansion. The guards remained at the entrance. Based on the cameras, the deputy mayor went to the toilet on the first floor of the mansion, and that was the last place he was seen. He left a note there, the handwriting was his, and escaped through the toilet window, which was the blind spot of the cameras. Why he escaped is unknown. The guards who accompanied him to the bar entered the same toilet after a couple of minutes. Having finished their business, they noticed the open window, which was usually closed, did not attach any importance to it and closed it. In the morning, his wife noticed that he was missing, asked the guards, and they began to search in the house, until in one of the booths they found the very note that Eva had noticed. The deputy mayor was not noticed on any cameras in the city, although the whole city is covered with them. In addition to the guards, the mansion had a gardener, a cook and a couple of maids, but they were all at that moment in their rooms in the staff house. No matter how you look at this situation, it's hard to say exactly what happened. The guards seem to be the most suspicious, but they have been working for him for 10 years and there have been no conflicts. He completely trusted them. Well, maybe we can learn something from the interrogations. Eva came out of the building. She had a pistol in a holster at her waist. She threw me my coat, took the folder and asked, "Eva, any suggestions on the case?" I just shook my head and said, "Kiba Snowpaw, not yet, I just found a bunch of oddities." Eva, for example. Kiba Snowpaw, don't you find it odd that both guards walked into the toilet at the same time? Eva, yes, it seems strange. Eva, maybe all these years they have been preparing for his abduction on the orders of someone. Eva, or maybe it was his wife who set it up because he was cheating. Kiba Snowpaw. Eva, in addition, the deputy mayor used to be the head of the truckers' union, and promised to lower fuel prices and car taxes. Eva, it could also be bike sellers who want to lobby for environmental reforms with high taxes on cars that would force all people to switch to bicycles. Eva, or maybe the Illumin. Kiba Snowpaw, Eva, let's not jump to conclusions and first interrogate the officials and guards, as we planned before. If I hadn't stopped her, I'm sure it would have continued until the evening. Eva, yes, you're probably right, let's interrogate them first. And so our investigation began and we went to the deputy mayor's mansion. We got to the mansion itself, where they looked pretty flustered and nervous. which was completely unsurprising given the circumstances. Mrs. Grant, hello Inspector Gray, I greet you. Your boss said you would like to know more details about the case. Eva nodded and held out her hand. Eva, good afternoon. That's right, my partner and I came to clarify a couple of questions. Mrs. Grant, then come with me inside. Guards surrounded and escorted us. The inside of the mansion looked quite luxurious. There were guards and cameras everywhere. We went into a cute but small room with a couple of sofas, armchairs, and a tea table with tea and biscuits. Most of the guards stayed outside the room. Only the two guards who accompanied the deputy mayor yesterday and his wife passed with us. Eva took off her coat and hung it up at the entrance, and then took out her notebook and sat on the sofa. Eva, so, how should I address you? Mrs. Grant, just call me Mrs. Grant. Eva, so, Mrs. Grant, I would like to ask your guards questions first and then speak to you. Mrs. Grant, of course, I'm ready to talk to you all day if we'll find my husband. The guards looked especially nervous and just stared at the floor. Eva, so let's start from the beginning. Eva, I want to hear the most detailed description of that evening, everything that happened before and after the bar. One of the guards nodded. Security guard 1, about last evening. Security guard 1, we have been working for him for a long time. Security guard 1, we have developed a very good relationship and even have a tradition to go to this bar every first Monday of the month. Security guard 1, at the bar. Nothing remarkable happened. Security guard 1, first we sat down at our seats, opened the menu. Security guard 1, the two of us ordered fish and chips, Mr. Grant ordered himself a steak. Security guard 1, besides that, everyone ordered a beer. Security guard 1, while we were waiting for food, my partner and I took turns going to the toilet, not leaving Mr. Grant alone. Security guard 1, then we got our order, ate, drank beer. It all took about half an hour. Security guard 1, we paid for everything. Got out, got into the car, and in 15 minutes we arrived here. Eva, and then Mr. Grant disappeared through the toilet window. The guard nodded and continued. Security guard 1, yes, that's right. We found the open window when we came to the toilet, and just closed it. Security guard 1, we both went to the toilet a couple more times during the night, but we didn't notice anything unusual. Security guard 2, yes, that's how it was. After hearing their story, there was one detail that surprised me. Eva didn't notice either, for sure. I turned my head and looked at her. She thoughtfully wrote something down and then asked, Eva, there is something odd about your story. She noticed too. Eva, why did you order fish and chips and Mr. Grant ordered a steak? Eva, if there is an opportunity to order a steak, why do you take fish and chips? Kiba Snowpaw. Mrs. Grant. Security guard 1. No, she didn't notice. Security guard 1, well, we just like fish and chips, we always order them. Eva, can the bartender confirm this? Security guard 1, we'll, probably yes. Everyone looked surprised at such questions. Apparently I was not the only one who thought it ridiculous. Mrs. Grant, Miss Inspector, are you sure these are necessary questions? Eva answered without hesitation. Eva, absolutely sure. Mrs. Grant. Without giving her the opportunity to make everyone feel uncomfortable again, I decided to ask my question. Kiba Snowpaw, excuse, do you two have kidney problems? Security guard 1, no, not at all. Security guard 2, I don't have either. Kiba Snowpaw, and you are claiming that even though you went to the toilet at the bar, you still went to the toilet on arrival and at night, many times. Kiba Snowpaw, HM. I started thinking about it. It's kind of strange, even considering the alcohol, they seemed to go to the toilet too often. They obviously had reasons to go so often. Eva looked at me and said in a whisper, Eva, some strange questions you have, Kiba Snowpaw. Kiba Snowpaw. Is she serious? Mrs. Grant, the alcohol was probably the reason. I don't think they were up to anything against my husband. Kiba Snowpaw, just one beer. It still sounds weird. Kiba Snowpaw, anyway, would you mind if we take a look at this toilet? Mrs. Grant, other policemen have already examined him in the morning, since then we have not touched anything there. Mrs. Grant, but you can inspect as much as you need. We left the room and followed her to that very toilet, and began to slowly examine everything in the hope of finding some evidence. We spent about an hour doing a thorough inspection. Since the last inspection, no fingerprints have been found here that would have belonged to someone other than the security and the deputy mayor. Nevertheless, I was hoping to find at least some clues there as Eva walked back and forth all over the toilet, looking at everything with a sage look. Although from the outside it seemed that I was doing the same, but at least I did not voice any crazy theories, as she did. I sometimes wondered how she even got to thinking like he could have been kidnapped through a secret passage in the toilet that was created in this house especially for such occasions, and this was not the most delusional theory that she voiced. We spent about 10 minutes looking around the area under the toilet window, which was completely filled with bushes, but also found nothing. When we finished our inspection, we went back into the building and the guards took us back to Mrs. Grant immediately. When we entered, she was talking to someone on the phone in an excited voice, but when she noticed us, she said to the interlocutor, "I'll call you back later." Mrs. Grant, did you find anything? I shook my head.